on, Rotogrinders? My name is Dean. That's Dean78904. That is the daily fantasy handle around the industry. It is 5:42. Sure. It's 5:42 on the East Coast, 2:42 on the West Coast, and 4:42 Tennessee time. So, of course, I guess. Yeah, sure. Let's go with it. That means it's time for the flagship show here at Rotogrinders. It is called Grinderslive. Joining me today on this fabulous 3-game slate. It was a 4-game slate. We lost the Bulls game, of course. 3-game slate tonight, this evening in the association. It's the owner and the proprietor. Well, I don't know if he's the owner. He runs it. He runs the prop shop. Chief, we just told the people over there in the prop shop, you're here. You're live with us, talking props all throughout the day. If they're not aware, how does one join the prop shop? And we're also, we no longer have the ability to field questions on YouTube right now. So that's just not how it's doing down. So we want to field some questions for the prop shop as well. And I'll let you guys know of the Discord channel that we're also, if you're not necessarily, actually, that's a free channel, is it not, Chief? That's a free channel. I don't know why I'm saying anybody can jump in there. What's up, Will? How are things in your world?
Yeah, man, scoring well. Anybody copping the prop shop. And in fact, today, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, we've had that going all day since 4 a.m.
How do we do?
It's just okay. Had a few small wins here and there. It wasn't a great day. Wasn't the worst day. The one thing that I can say is we've still got one more pocket of games at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Oh boy, some good ones there. So at any rate, you're not here to talk about that, but you could, because it's a meager 3-game NBA slate with some, I guess, a few guys that could be out, possibly. It definitely sounding like the main guy is going to be out for sure, with some other ones that have already been scratched, which is going to open up a few things on DK and FanDuel and Yahoo and Super Draft. And What else is
you want to run them all off? Draft Street? No. You were not around for the Draft Street days, were you? I feel like you weren't like right in there like 8 years ago or 9 years ago.
I was right after Draft Street.
Okay.
But yeah, I missed it. FanDuel and DraftKings got really big, really quick, in my opinion. And but everybody's heard my story. But Fantasy Aces was kind of my main side hustle. Made a lot of money there, and lo and behold, here we are.
So you mentioned some of the guys that may be in, maybe out, and we can talk about it short. It's a 3-game slate. Well, plenty of time to field y'all's questions. What up, everybody? Hit that like button out there on YouTube world. We do appreciate that. Helps us out the old algorithm. Again, apologies. We are not able to field questions right now on YouTube as far as the chat. If you guys want to ask questions in the Discord channel, since we have Chief here, we can field questions in his prop shop. Of course, you guys are talking about all things prize picks and things of that sort as well. We can meld in some DFS. Plenty of time. We'll talk all sorts of things here for the next. Oh, what do you got?
No, you go ahead, Dean. You finish that, and I do want to touch on something that I think could help the people. Do we have any screen share today? No,
I don't know. I mean, we got to.
No, I don't think we are. No. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
What do you want to share? What do you want to share with?
Well, no, you finish your spiel, because I've got something that I use, pretty much every day when I'm trying to nail down props and get some ideas and, get a pulse on it without just having to feel it out, right? Like, I know a lot of times in this business, we are going to have gut calls, and I know that that's something that's real. And sometimes the gut call is going to work out, and it's not. Just like sometimes the statistics are going to work out and they're not. But I do think, this is one of the things that can give us a really good baseline for maybe how we should be approaching props, and not only that, and traditional DFS. So once we get there, I'd love to touch on that.
Yeah, feel free to chime in. And I did pull up the Discord channel. If you guys are not aware, just go on the Rotogrinders Discord channel and go to NBA Daily, and we'll find your questions there. Producer Eli will pick those off. And of course, again, we're going to do our best to keep an eye on the prop shop as well. We gave them a heads up too. And, it's a 3-gamer, 2 games at 7:30, 1 game at 10 o'clock. Once again, we have Phoenix with a questionable DeAndre Ayton. You guys know the rules. If DeAndre Ayton doesn't play, all of a sudden, we see JaVale McGee becoming a pretty strong value play. Ayton questionable, same deal as last night. Devin Booker is still going to be out. Jalen Smith is not going to be out as well. On the other side, facing Portland, big man Cody Zeller is going to be out with his knee, and CJ McCollum, of course, still out with his lung. Steph Curry, narrative street, we'll talk about that in a second. He's going for, what does he need, 2 to break the record, 1 for to tie. He's going to get the record. Tickets are selling for a ridiculous amount of money there in New York. They're super excited to watch Steph get the all-time 3-point shooting record. They are fully healthy with the exception of Otto Porter, who's out with rest. Iguodala is back from his rest. New York on the other side, we're going to be talking about that one because they are not fully healthy. They're getting Alec Burks back from his personal, he had a child, so congratulations to him. Obi Toppin's out for health protocol reasons, as well as Quentin Grimes, who went off last game, and RJ Barrett. So lots of minutes to go around as far as the Knicks. And Toronto, usual suspects. We have Precious Achiuwa still out, OG Anunoby still out, Kevin Birch is still out, and they added one more as of last night. Dono Banton did not make the trip. He's not feeling particularly well, so a little bit thinner. Doesn't matter a ton, but just kind of worth noting, I suppose. Brooklyn is the big one, though, Chief, right? You referenced it. James Harden's back from his rest. Kevin Durant is questionable with an ankle. And Brooklyn's a team that cares about 3-4 months now. They don't care about today. I don't know how much they necessarily need him tonight. Well, they could use some bodies because they're without Javon Carter, DeAndre Bembry, James Johnson, LMA, Paul Millsap, and of course, Joe Harris. So they're down a lot of guys. I think they're down to 10 available bodies. If Durant doesn't play, they would have 9. And of those 10, Chief, this is amongst the 10 people. There's a person named Deron Sharp, David Duke, Blake Griffin, Cam Thomas, and Kessler Edwards. So I'm not certain. I need a proof of life on Kessler. Who is Kessler Edwards? Have you been grinding the Kessler Edwards tape? Who's this guy?
I'm not sure. And but he's probably going to get some run. Might not be extensive, but this definitely feels like a James Harden 40-minute game to me, especially if they actually have a chance to win. Feels like Patty Mills is going to play 40 minutes. Bruce Brown, Nick Claxton. I mean, we've probably been salivating at the idea of being able to get Nick Claxton at 30 plus minutes, and lo and behold, there's no one in his way today. Blake Griffin isn't in Nick Claxton's way in this spot, unless he gets in foul trouble. But man,
well, here's the not to cut you off, but the Claxton one is tricky because he was ill for like a month. He lost like 10 or 15 pounds. We've not seen him play more than 24 minutes all season long. What do we have? I think we have him projected for 24 last I checked, and that's probably a little cautious. I'm with you. I think he can go more than 24. But I do think it's interesting.
I don't think he's going past 30. Let me say that.
Yeah. What is our projection? We're projecting 24 points for him. 4.4K on FanDuel, not terribly interesting, but it's on DK. He's basically still minimum. I want to say he's like 3K or 3.3.
No. He's more than that, isn't he?
He's 3.1 on DK.
Oh, geez. You know what? I was looking at the DraftKings price. I mean, the FanDuel price.
Yeah. 4.4 over there, not nearly as interesting, but on DK, $100 above the floor. By the way, we should mention Brooklyn is their favorite. They're 5-point favorites, and I don't know. I saw a conversation in the projections Discord channel. I was kind of snooping. I was taking a peek, and they're sort of like trying to guess. Does that line mean anything? Like, are they suggesting that Durant is out? Like when those guys are all rolled out, apparently the line dropped from 8 to 5. And yes, they're live bodies, but like Javon Carter, DeAndre Bembry, James Johnson, LMA, Paul Millsap.
Those are all professional NBA players.
But are they worth 3 points? Like 3 full points? I don't know.
They are.
I feel like they're kind of hedging on the Durant stuff. Like if Durant's rolled out, it'll drop down more. If he's rolled in, yeah, I don't know.
I think those guys are worth 3 points. LMA's been scoring like 15 a game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's fine.
But it's true. But Dean, it's true. LMA has been scoring for this team.
Yeah, so we should mention, I didn't even say it, 216 is the total in this game, Brooklyn 5-point favorite. And obviously, if Durant is out, like how do you get away from playing? Harden's fine, like he's fine as is. But like if Durant doesn't play, how do you get away from playing all the James Harden?
Right, on this slate, and see, here's the difference, Dean. Now we're getting into what I would consider to be ultimate game strategy, right? If this is a 10-game slate, a lot more wiggle room. This is a 3-game slate. This is a 3-game slate with James Harden available and no Kevin Durant available. And even if this team loses by 25 points, that's not going to exclude James Harden from possibly putting up 60, right? Now, did he do that the last time Kevin Durant was out? No, but that doesn't mean anything. He puts up 55 points on this slate. That's probably enough. Wouldn't you say? I don't see anybody that's going to come out on this slate and score 60 outside of Harden. Curry, maybe. And the reason why I say Curry maybe is because he may not have to score 60 fantasy points. He's got the highest ceiling on this slate. Really no need to fade him here, right? He's going to be probably about as, come on, air quotes, safe as it comes.
Yeah. Well, it's a raw points thing too, right? Where and those also there's less. When there's 10 games, there's all these different players that have different routes and different possibilities. And maybe this guy only's got a 10% chance. This guy's got a 15% chance. This guy's got a 20% chance. But there's a bunch of dudes that have a chance to get to that optimal lineup. And here we're talking about 3 lineups. And if James Harden puts up 54, right, which is not horrendous.
Probably enough.
That's not amazing. Yeah. Like then it's like, okay, well, he might be the biggest scorer on the slate. And then you can figure it out with other pieces. And there's plenty of value out there. We'll talk about the Knicks in a second. And you hit the right combination of the Knicks and then Harden in his 54 points. And that could be good enough for sure. And again, we don't know what Durant in or out, not really sure. And it's still like, even if Durant plays, one of those 2 can still get there as well. 2, maybe, probably not. They are facing a Toronto team that's on a back-to-back that's, they're traveling, they're tired. So that probably bakes into the fact that they're 5-point dogs. They're Toronto. And of course, Toronto not fully healthy as well. We talked about Precious being out, OG Anunoby being out, Birch being out, and Banton as well. I'm pulling up our ownership stuff. I'm going to take a peek at the DK ownership and, Brooklyn specific. We have Claxton at 26.5%. Like we said, 3.1K. He looks like a cheapie. Like 22 minutes is probably low. 30 minutes is probably high. And he's traditionally close to a fantasy point minute player. He was better last year, I want to say, as far as fantasy points per minute this season. A little bit down at 0.76, 0.79, depending on where you're shopping, which isn't horrendous. But again, he's 3.1K. Bruce Brown should get some additional run as well. 0.82 fantasy points per minute on FanDuel, 0.76 on DK. Patty Mills. Patty Mills is kind of like a Duncan Robinson type. He's just got to score. Is he going to hit his 4 or 5 threes? Okay, then he gets the value. If he doesn't, forget it. Can you predict, is tonight the night that Mills is like going to be on target? I don't know. I have no idea. And anybody that says they do, they're lying. You just don't know. Like, maybe tonight's the night. And if Durant's out, I think Cam Thomas will be the guy that fully gets unleashed as far as minutes. I'm trying on the fly to pick up our if-then stuff. I assume we have one written up here. Who is your favorite secondary piece on the Brooklyn side?
Really no one, but because they're going to be valuable, you may have to play Cam Thomas. And when I say have to is a strong phrase. So let's go with, at some point it's probably going to be optimal to get in one of these cheaper pieces, right? I think Bruce Brown, I feel like maybe Bruce Brown feels the most safe because he's got a route to have upside in multiple areas. And this is in our lineup HQ, but Eli, if we could, since we're on that subject now, are you able to pull up the NBA premium projections that are basically going to kind of give it to us line by line outside of lineup HQ? It's still going to give us the salaries and stuff, but it's just kind of going to give us minutes, points, rebounds, assists, steals, turnovers, blocks, points, assists, points, rebounds, assists, stuff like that. You can just.
I think that's a back channel. I don't know. I don't know if I have access to that. Do you have that?
No. Yeah. So it's in NBA. You go to NBA All Tools, and then NBA Premium Projections, and it's a part of the Rotogrinders NBA Premium. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's such a small slate. Might as well get a little bit of prop shop education in here while we're at it. And it's going to help your DFS play too, I think. Were you able to grab that, Eli? Yeah, NBA Premium Projections. Yeah. Yep. NBA All Tools, NBA Premium Projections. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. We're doing this on the fly today. Just hang with us. I promise if you get it.
I understand what you're trying to do. They're trying to say, if we're projecting so-and-so for 7 points, whatever it is. And
let's go NBA player projections. Let me see. Give me a second. I want to make sure it's the right thing.
We might have to
NBA statistical projections is what it is. Sorry, Eli. See, when you get to the next page, you'll see what I'm saying. It's going to say NBA premium projections, but it's NBA statistical projections is what I'm looking for. Sorry about that.
All right.
All Tools. Yep. NBA statistical projections.
Eli, I can go ahead and drop this in our little chats, and you can get an easier way to get that. But this is actually something that I was not aware of, and I could see it being super helpful for prize picks because
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, Eli, when you get that up, you just let me know. And let's go to this Brooklyn game because right now they've still got Kevin Durant projecting. We can sort it by team, and what I'll typically do is just select the team that I want to see. Right. Eli, are we good? Okay. Yes, there it is. So, and if we could just sort it by Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets, like that team, you just select Brooklyn. What you'll see here, and this is something I use when I'm trying to get a read on what direction I need to head on for props. You can look line by line, and you can sort it by any category from top to bottom. And so as of right now, we've still got Kevin Durant projected in here. And he's projected for 32 points, 7.9 rebounds, 5 assists, 52 fantasy points. And a lot of that is because Harden's playing and all these other guys are out. But then there's these other categories, right, where you see points plus assists, points plus rebounds, points, rebounds, assists, the PA, PR, PRA. A lot of these are going to come in handy when you're trying to predict or trying to, utilize it for prop play. And especially on a site like Prize Picks where They're going to give you points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, free throws. A site like Underdog is going to give you points, assists, points, rebounds, points, rebound, assists. And our RG projections on Underdog, there's an extension for this, and it's literally going to lay over the picks that you want to see. So like right now, and you don't have to
the
go
biggest
there.
Discrepancies it shows off.
Right. So like right now, if you've got the RG extension and you go to Underdog, and in this same game, they have Pascal Siakam. This is Underdog. They have it at 31.5 points, rebounds, assists. RG projections are showing on the screen. And our projection is 36.1 points, rebounds, assists. So there's an automatic discrepancy that I can see right in front of my face. So on that, I'm just going to click the over. Same thing for Scotty Barnes. Got him at 26.5 points, rebounds, assists. Scotty Barnes is projected for 29.22, and that information is coming from this particular page, right? They're basically, it's pulling the information from here and going to Underdog. And so these are some of the cool things you can do when you're at home or, not at home, trying to get an idea, man, which props should I get in on? Which ones are going to be advantageous for me? And you use this tool, and especially like last night when the Hornets were all overinflated, I pretty much took the under on the Hornets, everything. And I nailed everything, right? There wasn't a single Hornet prop that I didn't hit. Fantasy points, rebound, you name it, we hit it. Why? They were over-adjusted on the prop sites because of the lack of bodies when PJ Washington came back and Terry Rozier came back. Why am I bringing this up? Right now is the time to get on James Harden props, because look at our projections, Dean. We're at 23 points for Harden, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 50 fantasy points. These are pretty much standard numbers for Harden, right? And if we look on Prize Picks, they've got him at 24.5. Well, if Durant's ruled out, he might bump up to 26.5, 27.5. So I'm saying that to say right now is the time to maybe get on some of these Harden props or some of the secondary ones. We have Bruce Brown, and there's an inefficiency here as well. Bruce Brown on Prize Picks is projected for 10.5 points. If you look at the premium statistical projections, we've got him at 8.79. Now, I probably don't feel as good about that one. Why? Because so many guys are out. But if you look at the projection, and they may adjust after we get official news. But these are the things I do every day when I'm trying to kind of dig for prop nuggets. And, and I've got other things that are in my process as well. But I think this was good for a short slate. Show you guys a new tool that, even
you showed me.
Even
I
Dean.
I didn't know that was a thing we had here to break it down individually, but it's super useful. And by the way, another thing we have for RG Premium members is the if-then stuff. And I pulled up if Kevin Durant happens to be out. Who, by the way, if Durant, the update was he's still questionable. An hour and a half before the game, the update, he's still questionable. So we got nothing. Game time decision, worthless. So what we're seeing here as far as our projections, if we see Durant being out, we're going to see a 12% bump in Harden. So we'd be all of a sudden getting 57 DK points, 53 FanDuel points. Brown would jump up to 31.5 DK points and 32 FanDuel points. Mills around 30 DK points. Thomas, 29 DK points. Claxton, we got Claxton on 21 DK points. I think that's possibly a little low, a little cautious. That's just me, though. Griffin at 19, Duke at 17, Edwards at 12, and Sharp at 8. So, they have 10 guys available, possibly 9, but the 8-9 probably not very important as far as Edwards and Sharp is scoring our projections. Those are ambitious tournament plays like Duke, Edwards, Sharp. We'll see what happens as far as Harden, Brown, Mills, Thomas, and Claxton if Durant is out. But even if Durant plays, according to our projections here, Will, we're looking at 30 minutes for Cam Thomas, 22% as far as ownership. Bruce Brown, 28 minutes, 20% ownership projection. And Brooklyn's just one of the tougher rotations to predict game to game. But being without 3 or 4 guys or 5 guys makes it a little bit easier. It's not as tricky, and less curveballs can be thrown our way. And we're projecting 39 minutes for Harden. But yeah, all the guys, Claxton, Harden, Durant, Thomas, Brown, those 5 are certainly interesting. And Griffin, I'm okay with Blake as like an ambitious tournament play. There's a chance he plays 20 to 25 minutes, and there's a route he can pay off his salary. And I didn't say Mills for some reason. Mills certainly in the conversation too. You said your favorite fringe player would be Brown as of right now? Oh, you're still on mute.
Yep, realized that as soon as I open my mouth. I definitely think Bruce Brown is probably going to be my favorite fringe play for sure. Him and Cam Thomas, actually. But this is all hinging on Durant being out. If Durant is in, I'm probably not as interested. Maybe I'd still have some interest in Nick Claxton. Maybe even Blake Griffin, right? I mean, he's 3,600 on DK. He gets 25 minutes. Maybe he gets 20 fantasy points, and that might be enough on this slate. We've got it projected for, well, that's FanDuel. I got the FanDuel pulled up because that's the prize pick score, and they use FanDuel. But either way, what's Blake projected for on DK? It's around, I don't know, 16, 17, I would assume.
So on DK, we got Griffin projected for 22 minutes, 17 fantasy points, and 7% owned.
Yeah, about a whole point lower. Yeah. So who knows on this slate, man? I mean, it's a 3-gamer. I'm very, very cautious on 3-game slates. Take the points, right? Don't overthink this. Take the points. If Kevin Durant's out, you play hard. Now, I don't care if he's 100%. I'm putting him in. I don't care.
I mean, there's no way I'm not playing Harden. I don't care. I'll eat the ownership. There's good chalk and there's bad chalk, and that's Harden without Durant is delicious chalk and whatever, man.
I will say this in terms of, we're talking a lot about that side of the game. I do think Pascal Siakam would be in a really good spot here as well. If Durant is out, I mean, essentially it feels like he'd have a clear path to the basket almost every play. And that's just thinking it through. But his rebounding numbers and, man, these statistical projections, I'm trying to hand the people some nuggets here, Dean, because this slate is so small. I mean, but because we've only been on air a little over 20 minutes at this point, and we've got 2 games left. So I think we're fine. But, when you're looking here at our projections, just look at it. We've got Pascal Siakam projected for 20 points, 8.47 rebounds, right? And if you're looking over the landscape, Pascal Siakam's projected for 7.5 rebounds on prize pick. See, this is the kind of stuff where, and he's been projected for 8.5 most games, but I think it's been adjusted because of the matchup, right? Well, here's the thing, Dean. It's hard to turn this into a prop education series. I will have a webinar that I'm going to do for the prop shop.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So
people have been demanding that.
Yeah, and this is going to be a part of it. But identifying inefficiencies. Here's something that always happens, Dean, on every slate, and it happens like clockwork. I'm going to ask you, as one of my colleagues and a professional that I trust and admire, when someone gets ruled out, let's say it's the Lakers, and LeBron James gets ruled out, and me included, I'm going to do this, but what's the very first thing we do?
Well, the first thing you do is we try to figure out where those minutes are going to be delegated on his team. But the second thing you do, Chief, I think I'm ahead of you. I think I know where you're going with this, is like, how does this affect the opponent?
Well, yeah, D, you're getting in my head. You're getting in my head now. So what ends up happening is in the prop game, we rush to the current team, and that's normal, and that's also necessary because the projections are going to be off on them because they're not accounting for the usage and the opportunity that's going to be there, right? But what we hardly ever do, and maybe we do it, and we just don't hear about it as much. We don't think about, well, let's go to the other team and see where they might have some inefficiencies because this person is out, right? LeBron James being out is going to help a few people on the other side of the ball. And that's how I feel about the situation with Pascal Siakam. I think Kevin Durant being out is going to help him and Scotty Barnes tremendously. So I'm looking for ways to get them included in not only in the prop game, but traditional DFS as well. And then we go and look and see what the price is on Pascal Siakam. Dean, he's only 8,300. I can get behind that on this slate in an up and down matchup. He's got a chance to go for 50 here.
The thing is, he's thinking about nobody, right? FanDuel, we're looking at 42% ownership currently.
Because he's cheaper.
Yeah. And 27% on DK. It's just hard to hide. It's hard to hide at a 3-game slate.
Yeah, but I'm saying 27% on a 3-gamer is pretty low for him, So, those are the things I'm thinking about on this particular slate for a small game. Listen, man, I'm trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip here with the analysis and information on the 3-game slate.
Chicken salad.
Work with me here. Work with me.
Lipstick on a pig. We got to stretch this bad boy out. It's a 3-gamer. We want to interact the best possible. If you guys are just joining us on YouTube, hit that like button. We'd appreciate that. Does help out with the old algorithm. No, there is not currently a chat function right now on YouTube, but you can chat with us. How would you go about doing that? Well, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything in the Rotogrinders Discord channel. There are some premium channels. There are some free channels. This happens to be a free channel. Go to rotogrinders.com/Discord, and then you go to the NBA Daily Room. Ask some questions there. And some of y'all, I'm sure, are watching us that are also in the Chiefs prize pick. The prop shop. I don't know why it's prize pick. It's the prop shop. You guys are there as well. We're going to do our best to pull questions from there later on in the show. Plenty of time, like we said, still a half hour. We'll talk about the rest of the slate. As far as Toronto, we know the deal with Toronto. They're down bodies, and the ones that are healthy, the ones that are best, are going to play a ton of minutes. We're projecting 38 for Pascal, 36 for Trent, 38 for Barnes, 38 for FDV. The fifth guy, we presume it's going to be once again Chris Boucher drawing the start. His minutes can be a little bit fickle, but we're looking at 24 or so. The price is not adjusted enough. He looks like a pretty good value play. And the rest of the guys that could siphon minutes from him, like the Speed McCallicks, the Yuta Watanabes, the Justin Champagne, they're not terribly interesting. How do you feel about Boucher as a potential value play? I feel like that's a little bit low as far as our ownership projection. Of course, this stuff is fluid, and we still have almost an hour and a half until the first game tips off. 17% on DK seems a little bit low for me as far as the projection. I think it'll be more popular than that. Do you agree with that?
He could be, but I think what if people want to wait on this DeAndre Ayton news and get JaVale McGee in, who maybe they feel a little bit better about? Like that absolutely could be the angle.
I'm trying to see so the thing is with JaVale is he's still okay. Even if Ayton plays, he's not terrible. It's not a disaster. And there's still a chance. He's been an incredible fantasy point per minute player this season. 1.4 or something like that. I mean, I know he's been, I don't know the numbers right in front of me. I guess I can pull it up. We talk about Phoenix, but he's been phenomenal. He's a guy that can get there in just 17, 18 minutes. And he's the guy that's not going to play 35 anyway, but he can get there. Ayton's not playing. He can play 27 and certainly smash. Not that this is necessarily a great matchup against Nurkic, pretty big body over there, but I'm just trying to think maybe you can pivot to a Nance at 4.3K. If you're just trying to set stuff up, for some reason Ayton does play, because there's no other games. There's 2 games, 7:30, 1 game at 10 o'clock. And if you have McGee waiting for you in your center spot, in your utility spot, and you're nervous all of a sudden if Ayton does play, and I thought he was going to play last night. What do I know? Just
I go utility, I think, and here's what I do. I plug in Cam Johnson. I mean, you can plug in Larry Nance too. They're all around the same price, right? Because all of them are more expensive than JaVale McGee. I think that's how I would play it. I'd probably play Siakam at center or something like that, and plug McGee.
Campaign's another one.
Yeah, and plug one of those guys in utility, and then if it opens up for you can absolutely switch to McGee. That's the old Dean Shableson special. For those of you that don't know, lock that utility up, and then you give yourself a chance. To swap it if you get the news late. Yeah.
We did it last night because I had Zubac, and I switched all my Zubac to McGee, and I thought Zubac would be fine. I don't think he was spectacular, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we almost got there, man. We had some good lineups. We almost got there. Rjax was very disappointing. He just got beat up all night. I don't know if you're watching that game, but he kept falling, getting poked in the eye. And guess what?
Chris Paul got beat up too. He didn't score any points in the second half. I mean, 0 real points.
Did you have him over?
Oh, God, yeah. Guess what? And that's the only one I missed. The only one.
Did you hear Meansy's story? Meansy is his
football. I heard it. God. That's the kind of prop stuff that'll make you sick to your stomach. I mean, just, oof.
He had a 6 or 7. I don't know how many, 5, 6, 7, 8 leg, whatever it was, as far as a same game parlay. And he hit him. He was all good. This is the Tampa game. They went the overtime of the weekend. He's sitting pretty, and he had Fournette over receiving yards, over 17 or whatever it was. And he had a 7-yard negative catch. He lost by half a yard. I felt so bad for him. But what do you do?
This could go in the SVP Bad Beats segment, okay, on ESPN.
Brutal.
Oh, God. I hope you guys can tell this is actual pain here because I know what it's like. Speaking of which, let me give you my bad beat, Dean. Remember, I told you about this Charlotte game. Had everyone under, nailed it. Had Reggie Bullock at 8.5 real points. Of course, I took the under.
Of course.
Okay. This is last night, by the way.
Yeah.
Cost me a good 10x. Charlotte has a technical foul in the fourth quarter with about 5 minutes left. Too many men on the floor.
Why is Bullock taking it?
Jalen Brunson's in the game. DFS is in the game. I mean, all these guards are in the game. And they send Reggie Bullock to the line to shoot the technical. And he makes it. And he goes over by a half a point at 9. And then in the next 30 seconds, they pull him out of the game. I said, you got to be kidding me here. Oh, God.
The way you got to look at it, though, and again, you try to have a big picture feel, is like sometimes you have the Bullock over, and that's how you get there, you know? It's like sometimes it works.
No. You don't ever have the Reggie Bullock over 8.5 points.
Not Bullock specifically, not that specific prop, but like that kind of theoretical prop.
Okay. So let's do this. I'll give you a good beat. Here's a good beat.
Yeah. These happen sometimes.
Yeah, this is a couple weeks ago. We're in the prop shop. It's over the weekend too, Dean. I mean, so this is weekend prop shop. I mean, prime time. It's live in there. We had Jason Tatum over 3.5 free throws. Jason Tatum must have missed 3 or 4 free throws this game. They were up and the game was over. Coach had pulled the starters, Dean. All the Boston players were on the bench. The other team's bench makes one of the greatest runs you're ever going to see in about 4 or 5 minutes. The coach has to put the starters back in, and Jason Tatum makes a free throw with a few seconds left, and we get the over on the free throw prop. That's a good beat. It was a good one.
I had
what a celebration
for DFS. I had a live DFS team with Tatum too, and I was like, come on, let's get Tatum back out there again. So it does work both ways. Let's knock out this game as far as the Toronto side. No news just yet on the interwebs. As far as we can tell, when it comes to Brooklyn, you'll probably get a crack at some point during crunch time with Andy Means.
And did get some extra news on Durant. Kevin Durant will be reassessed before tip-off, but Steve Nash hopes the star can play versus the Raptors. That's from Brian Lewis on Twitter at the New York Post.
Nice pull. All right. That to me suggests that he's going to play. I suspect he's going to play. The Toronto side, we talked about you liking Pascal. How about, I think a good filler play is Gary Trent. Perfectly fine with him. 26% as far as ownership projection. Scotty Barnes, again, a pile of minutes there. 24% as far as ownership. We talked about Boucher as being a potential cheapie. FEV is a little bit expensive, but he feels like, for tournaments, for sure, you can run him out there. If you're running, especially if you're in the big ones, you're running 150 or something like that. Who's your favorite non-Pascal Siakam player on Toronto?
Good question, Dean. Honestly, it might be Scotty Barnes, just because I feel like he can probably get there in multiple ways. Chris Boucher is going to be fine, but they don't seem intent on giving him 30 minutes. The problem is, here's the other thing, though, Dean. At some point, isn't Boucher going to pop for 40 and 25 minutes? Like, isn't this coming? It's got to be coming. But for me, I think it's Scotty Barnes, just because he can get there in so many ways. You look at the box score here, even on nights where he's not scoring in droves. Like this was last night against Toronto, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, played 32 minutes. Now this game was a blowout. Had 5 blocks, right? So still didn't crush your lineups. Game before, 12 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 44 fantasy points. He's got a plethora of ways to get there at 7,400. I don't hate it at all.
Let's move on. Talk about the Warriors and New York. 211.5 is the total here. Golden State 5-point favorites on a back-to-back. They traveled today, by the way. I'm not sure you saw it. Their travel got derailed last night. Draymond was tweeting about leaving today and traveling. That's so rare where you're traveling the day of. I don't know what time. And I think their flight was actually canceled in the morning too. So whatever. They're in the building. As far as I know, they're gonna be playing basketball tonight in New York. We know the deal with Steph Curry. He is, look, by all measures, he's overpriced. 11.5K on DK. That's just an overprice. I'm sorry, it just is. but that doesn't mean you can't play him in tournaments. Of course you can. That's one way to be different on this slate. And I presume the ownership's going to reflect that. Yeah, we're looking at Steph Curry at 12% projected ownership on a 3-game slate. And yes, and there's a narrative built in there as well too, if you want to have fun with that. Otherwise, like Golden State, they play so many guys, like 10, 11, 12 dudes. They're another team, like just like Brooklyn. They don't care about today. They care about, end of season. They care about the playoffs. They're not pushing guys too hard. I don't really like this Golden State. I mean, I'm fine with Draymond every once in a while. You get that, that 5-5-5-5 game. It's just awesome. I love what he does. Just peppers the box score. Wiggins is never really a fun roster for me. Poole is kind of, he's scoring contingent. Of course, he can get there. But as a general thought, this Golden State team is just not that appealing to me from a DFS perspective. It's going to be even more mucked up when Klay Thompson comes back, supposedly Christmas Day. But yeah, what are your thoughts as far as Golden State? Like for me, it's mostly like sprinkling a couple here, sprinkling a couple there, but main lineups probably not. Steph Curry, tournaments only, obviously. Probably large field too, but I'm not terribly enthused about the Warriors. Is that a bad take? That's where I'm at. You are on mute once again, sir.
I know. There's a dog barking. My next door neighbor's dog is barking, and so I don't want that to interfere with, all the goodness we've got going on here with this 3-game slate. But absolutely, Steph Curry, tournament play extraordinaire, right? He's a guy that could go off. Here's my hot take, Dean.
Yeah.
Curry might score 50 real points tonight. And I don't think it has anything to do with the 3-point record. I think it has everything to do with the fact that he's playing the New York Knicks in New York, big stage. Guys want to put on a little show for the New York fans when they get there. I think Madison Square Garden still has some validity to the name. And so, I still think, being in the what we like to call the Mecca of basketball, I think Steph Curry is able to put on a show tonight. And for what it's worth, the Knicks also give up some of the most 3-pointers in the league. And I'll pull that stat. These are other stats that I use to
7th most.
Yeah. So you've got 7th most. Is that where that where they are now? Okay.
If I'm doing my math correctly, 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Well, no. That's what I typically do. Is I like to see attempts. Because attempts means that they're giving it up, but
7th most as well, but both attempts and made. Okay,
good. I'll take it. But yeah, so there we go. I'm going to trust you on that. So 7th most, I still like it. The Warriors are going to take a lot of 3-pointers, and we're going to roll.
Do you like anybody else on Golden State? Like, I'm not going to discourage playing Draymond, but of course you can play Draymond. I'm looking 23% on Draymond. He's always got a chance for that 10, 11, 10 triple double. He's always got a chance to get like 7 or 8 or 9 stocks, which are especially pleasant on FanDuel. Where you get 3 points for those. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight. No idea. And you'd think, again, we look at these spreadsheets and all that. I feel like the team, like they know what Steph's going to get the record tonight at some point. They want to have some fun with it. They know it's the Garden, and I don't know how to weigh that in. Like you said, it's like I'm a big math guy, but I'm also like, I'm somewhere in the middle, like math and feel, like a little bit of both. Yeah. These are real life people, then they want Steph to have a big night. I imagine, I suppose they like him. They want their teammate to shine. Guys on Golden State,
Steph's first shot might be a 3-pointer tonight, for what it's worth, and they're probably not going to stop the game and give him a game ball or anything like that. But it's going to be a special moment. I think
they'll stop the game though.
I don't
stop
know.
the game.
I don't know.
They stop the game like somebody gets their first hit in baseball. They stop for everything.
I don't know.
I think they stop.
I get it though. I get it. We'll see. I mean, if he gets to, that's definitely going to be a game ball. That ball will probably get pulled out of the game immediately. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. But you asked about anybody else. It's such a conundrum trying to roster the Warriors right now because no one's really hitting upside consistently. It's kind of these weird games like when Andrew Wiggins buries like 10 threes in the third quarter or something like that. All types of weird things are happening. How can the Knicks keep this game competitive enough, for Steph to play a full complement of minutes or push him to the limiter here a little bit like Rick Ross to about 38 minutes. Who knows? But I think it's mainly Curry for me. last thing, I promise I'm not confusing my mind here, but I think because of the price of Wiggins and the price of Poole, that's going to drive a little bit more ownership on this slate.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of right in that mid-range, but I'm not enthused about playing them. I still feel like Norman Powell is a better value than Jordan Poole right now. You get what I'm saying? It's like, so I don't feel like he's anywhere near comparable to Powell with his current role with CJ out.
That's where I'm at. Like I'm fine playing Wiggins, I'm fine playing Poole, but I'm not seeking them out. But if they like the last guy in and they make everything work, I'm not blowing my lineup up. That's kind of like where I'm at.
Yeah.
As far as the New York side, let's talk about the Knicks. The Knicks, we're going to see incredible popularity on New York. Emmanuel quickly projecting 49% ownership. Now, I think we're projecting him to start. We're not certain if it's going to be him or Rose. Right now, we have quickly starting over Rose. We have them both for 30 plus minutes anyway. Burks with 36 as well. Like those guys are going to handle all the 1 and 2 almost definitely. Randall at 36 minutes. Their coach still is Tibbs. He's going to run him to the ground. We're going to see Kevin Knox get some run. We
are going to see Kevin Knox get some run tonight, D. How about that?
I mean, we're not excited about that, but he was once upon a time a lottery pick and whatever. Fournier, I think, is a little bit more interesting than Knox. Knox, again, if you're running 150, sure, sprinkle in some Knox for sure. He can get there in 20 to 27 minutes, depending on how many minutes he plays. But for me, it's pretty clear. It's about quickly Burks, just off that baby. Derrick Rose, Randall.
Oh, we're going with the baby narrative?
I mean, did he get any sleep? He probably didn't get any sleep. I don't know. It's probably a negative, right? I don't know how that works.
Hey, listen, I don't know, man. Baby narrative. I don't know. So let's see if our models have accounted for the baby narrative, D.
I don't think it factors it in, but you can bump it up on the lineup HQ. You can bump up like 1%, 2%, 3%.
Listen, we've got Alec Burks projected for 18.6 real points. Okay, now Dean, so let's talk about that. Sorry, man, I hate to keep hijacking this show with this stuff. So guys, please forgive me. But listen, so we've got Alec Burks projected for 18.6 points tonight. On Prize Picks, he's projected at 16.5. Okay,
I like the over.
Yeah, listen to this. We've got Emmanuel quickly projected for 12.5 points on Prize Picks. And our statistical projections, we've got him at 16.29. You see where I'm going here. These are the things that help us be good prop players. And it's not like it's going to make me do it, but that's a wide enough margin to where I feel like the model is saying quickly's going to score some points tonight. And Prize Picks probably hasn't accounted for it. So want to bring that up. Not going to make this a prop show.
Just know, again, our projections, we're projecting quickly to start. So just kind of, if he doesn't start, we're going to probably push back. I don't know. I'm on the projection team, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. He still can get there. Okay, he's projected for 36 minutes right now.
Right.
If he plays 28, he's still probably fine.
Yeah.
Julius Randle, Rose, Burks, quickly. I'm trying to think the minimum number of guys on New York I want in my lineup. I'll probably have like a minimum of 2. And I'm trying to think if I can have 4. I don't know if 4 is too many, but Tibbs and his rotations can be super, super tight. And the other part of it is that the players are cheap. There's like talking about negative correlation. Well, like quickly's 4.6, Rose is 5K, Burks is 6.3. We're not spending a ton of money to get like supposed negative correlation, right? And they're going to play alongside each other as well. Plenty. Yeah. What is the appropriate number of Knicks? The 2? How many is 2 not enough, and how many is too many?
Well, we've kind of got quickly at a really good projection, and he's the cheaper. He's fairly cheap out of this bunch. Like when I'm looking at DraftKings here, like he's not overpriced. In terms of sorry about that, man. I'm sorting it the wrong way. But in terms of projections, we've got him at 22 fantasy points projection. We've got Derrick Rose at 32. But that hasn't accounted for the minutes bump, I don't think yet. Let me see. Sorry, Dean. Trying to get this thing to refresh here. And let's see if this has now changed. Now we've still got quickly at 27 minutes on the DraftKings version of our statistical projections, but on the FanDuel version, we've got him at 36. But either way, quickly is a little bit cheaper. Yeah, probably just hasn't made it yet. Not worried about it, but quickly is definitely.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Wow, we just got swerved. You ready for it? James Harden's not playing basketball tonight. He is out for health protocol reasons. Just smash every single prize pick on anybody for Brooklyn. If Durant plays, he goes absolutely crazy. Hit everybody in the over right now. Anybody, Harden's not playing.
They didn't even have.
Did they have Durant? Did anybody else listed?
Yeah, they didn't even have Durant up. So
bet anybody. I'm Bruce Brown. We're going to bet at Bruce Brown over. We're going to take
Bruce Brown is out.
No, he's playing basketball tonight. Bruce Brown over 25 and a half.
That's what I'm telling you. Next, James Harden and Bruce Brown have entered COVID protocols, lifting Nets total to 7 players. That's from Adrian.
They got to cancel this game. Wait, 7. So wait, they had 10. It's 7 if Durant doesn't play.
So that leaves Mills, Durant, Claxton, Cam Thomas, Blake, Duke, Sharp, Edwards. Patty Mills is going to go nuts.
Yeah, bet Patty Mills over on everything. What can I connect him to? Because I have Mills right now. Claxton over 22.5 fantasy points.
You just pretty much find whatever you can get and go for it.
Oh my gosh!
And then remember, like I said, I'm going to take Pascal Siakam over 7. Man, I actually might take. Jesus.
Wait, you said 7. Well, we should have 8. Unless if Durant plays, it's 8, right? Is there another person I missed? Okay, so it's Harden, Brown. Wait, let's see. Harden, Brown, Millsap, LMA, Johnson, Bembry, and Carter all are in health protocols. Good Lord. How are they playing this game?
I don't know.
They canceled the Bulls game.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me get my CSGO guys in there. Because that's basically what hopefully they don't get ruled out for COVID.
We still have another game to cover. We got 10 minutes to stand by for that. Of course, Andy is going to be around for crunch time to delve into whatever we delved in. Of course, he's going to talk about all the shenanigans going on there in Brooklyn, which, again, I still don't know how this game is going to be played, but I guess they will. And I thought the number is you need at least 8 live bodies to field a team to start. And I don't know if they would. Well, yeah. Oh, man, just trying to count this on the fly, but good Lord, that's changing the slate for sure. And there's nobody left to take advantage of on prize picks. You can get Patty Mills at 23 over fantasy points, Claxton over 22.5 fantasy points. I think it's the only ones on Brooklyn, but I'm just going to hit those guys over.
I got Patty Mills over 14.5 real points.
Okay. Yeah. I was just doing fantasy points, whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You
well, what's your favorite non-Brooklyn play on the slate for prize picks?
As of right now, I think it's Jordan Poole under 29.5 fantasy points.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Jordan Poole under. And then if you want my other favorite, this is my favorite play of like the night. It's a CSGO pick, but it's Junior over 36.5. Junior over 36.5. Not asking Junior's you guys. Due. No, he's not due. This is too low. He averages around 40 something. And they've got him at 36.5 because of this big tournament. But they're playing this team called Extra Salt, and he's going to be just fine. I mean, Junior's he's a machine. So anyway,
let's knock out this last game because you got 7 minutes. And I see a question here in the Discord channel. Again, join the Discord channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Check us out over here at rotogrinders.com or Discord. Let me pull up the exact address now because I'm getting confused. My apologies. It is rotogrinders.com/Discord, and you find us in the NBA Daily section here. I see K-Mac had a question. Well, this question was asked 20 minutes ago. It was campaign or Patty Mills? I mean, it's Patty Mills. Assuming that game plays, it's got to be Patty Mills, right?
And Durant's got to play now.
What a wild game, man. I'm registered for way too much now. I feel like tonight's going to be just ridiculous. But all right, adjust accordingly, adjust on the fly. The hammer game tonight, of course, is Phoenix at Portland. 219 is the total. Portland is a 2-point dog here. We don't know about DeAndre Ayton. It's a back-to-back for Phoenix. Of course, he did not play last night. He was not feeling well. Booker's still out. Jalen Smith's still out. Portland, we have Zeller and McCollum out. We already talked about, the prospect of Ayton being out. Therefore, if that happens, therefore, JaVale McGee becomes an interesting tournament play. But now, we talk about how many Knicks, how many Nets. That's the slate. The slate is Knicks and Nets. Durant, he plays.
You're pretty much going to play Kevin Durant, Patty Mills, Cam Thomas, Nick
Yeah.
Claxton.
Well, at some point, raw points are going to matter. So you can only play so many because you have a bunch of salary to spend up on a guy like Lillard, or spend up on a guy like Chris Paul.
No, I might just play Curry in the Garden.
Yeah, Steph. Yeah. I was getting to him, but the same sort of point.
That's what I'm saying.
And our ownership, the ownership stuff that we've been talking about throughout this whole show, throw it out. It's all useless. It's all worthless because that's how NBA works, and they will be adjusting on the fly for sure. What are your thoughts as far as the Phoenix side? Again, another one of those teams that they're kind of like Golden State, where they're not terribly interesting unless people are out. Potential of Ayton being out, therefore McGee gets lifted, and the prices have kind of adjusted to Booker being out as well. But if Ayton plays, I think he's certainly interesting. Which people are planning more so if he doesn't. JaVale, what if he does? Nobody's playing him, and he's interesting. Sure, talk to me about the Suns.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this spot against Portland, who really hasn't been playing great defense, they could still win this game tonight, but it's definitely more competitive when both of them are down bodies. Landry Shamet at 3,800 has been playing pretty good minutes, right? Mid-20s, can score a little bit. I think he tops out at 25 fantasy points, but that's about it. Cam Johnson's the guy I've been looking at. He's been playing okay. Jay Crowder, I think these guys are good cheap pivots on DK.
Nets officially have 8 players available. Durant is questionable. Assuming Durant's available, they have 8. So it'll be Mills, Thomas, Durant, Griffin, Claxton, Sharp, Duke, and Edwards. Just wanted to get that out there. All right. What are your thoughts as far as the Portland side? We saw Lillard come back. He had a bunch of free throws. He struggled from his 3, but I like the usage there. Just as long as he keeps chucking, certainly there's plenty of ceiling there in that roster. We saw Larry Nance grab himself a bunch of minutes, and he's still kind of cheap. And we've seen him pop before in the past, like a pretty decent fantasy point minute player. Powell, one of those kind of glue guys. If he sort of fits 6K, I don't need him, but I think he's fine. Your thoughts as far as Portland?
Yeah, like Damie's 97, but I think I'd rather play Curry tonight for what it's worth. Norman Powell is someone that I really like on this slate just because I know the opportunity is there. Larry Nance at 4,300, I definitely think is fine. But when I say fine, I do mean just fine. All in all, I think Robert Covington might be the best value on this team if he's going to get 30-something minutes. Larry Nance has been playing, but Covington has still been getting big minutes here. I love Covington at 3,400.
I'm seeing a note now. It looks like Durant officially available to play. Again, I wonder how. Whatever. I'm just trying to think of a different route. Is it possible he's just available just to be available because you need 8? I think you need 8, but I assume he's going to start. Just kind of keep an eye on that. And I don't know how much they're going to push him. Again, we talk about how they do not care about this game. They shouldn't. Game 30 out of 82, they care about getting there in the end. This is really kind of meaningless. But we'll see how that goes down. But yeah, I'm just concerned it might be the old available in air quotes with Kevin. But again, that's just me being a little bit paranoid and thinking extreme tournament stuff. Whew, we got a couple minutes before we step aside and get out of here. Do you have a favorite game stack from a DFS perspective?
I think at this point, there's a game stack. It might actually be
Toronto, Brooklyn, right?
Yeah. But the other thing I was going to say is, God, if we had better Warriors, it would probably be the Warriors Knicks because they don't seem to have anything going on that's too weird. These other games, so much is going on. And I know CJ's already been ruled out, but we got to wait on that, Ayton news. So many things are happening.
Chris Paul's got a big projection on FanDuel as far as ownership, 42%. Again, this stuff is going to get shuffled up and changed to some degree. I see 24% in Durant on DK. I promise you that's wrong. It's going to be higher than that. I guarantee there's no chance. You couldn't predict this, but there's no chance because, all the Harden ownership is going to shuffle away to some other guards. It's going to be a wild slate. And the reason why I said Toronto, Brooklyn is because, Brooklyn only has so many bodies, right? They're going to play some tight minutes. And Toronto is going to have 4 guys that play at least 35 minutes. So you'd have 4 guys on Toronto playing at least 35 minutes. and probably 4 guys on Brooklyn play at least 35 minutes, possibly even 40 minutes. Like that's all. That's it. You're locking in all these minutes, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But efficiency, usage, and whatever. But that game excites me. I want to get some clarity on Durant, and I want to make sure he's like a full go and good to go and ready to just go absolutely nuts. But otherwise, we're getting out of here. I do want to thank Eli for producing. Thanks for those.
Thank you, Eli. Thank you so much, man.
Figuring that stuff out on the fly as well too. Good job, Eli. Hit that like button if y'all watching us on YouTube. If you guys are premium members, check us out for Crunch Time. Andy Means, he'll be having a blast talking about all the Brooklyn. He's gonna be breaking down David Duke and Day'Ron Sharp, and I don't know how much you needed those guys, but they're gonna play some, I would imagine, because all 8 are gonna play. All right. Final thoughts as far as the slate before we step us out and get out of here. What do you have for me, Will?
Nothing, man. Just be careful tonight. Be vigilant. Be cautious. Be safe. Be protective. So much still going on. I don't think I'm going to press submit on my lineup until 7:28 or so.
Yeah, be alert to the news, because I think there's still a chance that game gets canceled. But whatever. I just think that it's hypocrisy, if nothing else, because they canceled the Bulls game and they probably had 7 or 8 dudes. But all right, we got to go. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. That's Will. That was Eli producing. That was basketball. I was Dean. Stay tuned for Crunch Time. If you guys are premium members, watch us out on the old Rotogrinders.com. We're out of here. Holler.